Hi everyone, it's Annie from Phoenix Healing. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, and I wanted to do a little video while we are still in the month of October, especially because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so I should probably say this video may have um, triggers, so like trigger warning. But basically, I figured now is a good time to probably share a little bit more of my story. As a lot of people know, when I first started um, doing these videos, I was in separation from my twin flame, and I was actually married to my twin flame. And now I am divorced from my twin flame. And um, it's definitely something that it's been a process learning, especially within like those first couple years, because you kind of don't know what's happening. And the crazy thing was is that I had two friends that were very, very, very gifted, especially with tarot card readings. And my one former friend actually predicted him coming into my life, and that was in 2015. And um, then when we finally found out, oh my God, it's him, that things started making sense. And then I remember it was like a month or two after we became official that another friend who was very gifted in tarot reading, she was the one who actually even said, oh my God, like he's your twin flame. And I remember because I knew nothing about empathy at the time, if that meant like, was that the same thing as a soulmate? Like, what is it? Um, and I definitely was like, oh, like, so we think optimistic, like, oh, meant to be and everything. And then she got to the future and she said, like, because she was getting, like, I forgot what she said for the middle part of this, but like, she did say, like, we'd be together like a long time. But then when she got to the end, like, the future one, it said, like, she's like, something's going to happen in the month of November, but I can't see if it's like, they're not telling me if it's good or bad, just something life changing. And lo and behold, November 2020, that's when um, my now ex said he wanted to divorce. Um, at the time, I didn't know what really was going on behind the scenes. It was like a couple of months later when my cards told me what was going on. And because I still had access to his YouTube account, I actually saw some of the things that the cards were telling me. And I remember when I saw that in front of my face, I was like in so much shock. So basically, I was with him from April of we started talking in January 2015. We officially got together in April of 2015. We met in May 2015. Um, we got engaged in 2016, and I think it was like May 2016, and then we got married in October 2017, and then got he wanted to divorce in November of 2020. But because how things are, especially with Canadian law, and I'm from the States, um, countries are very, very different with like how they handle separation and divorce. Like in Canada, you can't get divorced until you've been actually separated for like a year. And what they mean by separation is that like if you are not identified as a couple, if you don't cohabitate for, like it's basically, and we were long distance, so we never even got to like live together. So despite not living together, that still doesn't count because it's one of those things, like you said, you have to like not be associated as a couple anymore, basically. And so I remember what ended up happening too was that because I was in shock, I didn't know what was going on. A year later, we go into like October of it was a 2021, and I met my one soul sister, and right before, because I had ordered a twin flame reading from her, um, and her name is Kay. Like if you go on Etsy, like Kay Spiritual Services, like it's something like it's one of, if you look up the name, you should be able to like find her there. But one of the offerings she does do is like the twin flame readings. I remember I did that at a bunch of months, like the silence readings and a couple other things. And I was like literally less than like 12 hours from when she gave me what she was getting. I had a dream that my ex was with a younger girl, and she had blonde hair, and the phone rang, like his phone rang, he saw it was me on the caller ID, and he didn't pick up, and he walked away with the girl. And then literally like 12 hours later, I get the report from my soul sister, and literally what I saw in my dream is what she was seeing. Like it was another girl, a younger girl with like blonde hair, and yeah, so lo and behold, he was cheating on me, and then basically went more public with it, while we were still legally married, because we didn't even get officially divorced until like what was it, May of 2023. So, and it's just so crazy how things like carried on, like because he was dragging his feet, which was nuts. Because if you don't want to be with me, you should have just fucking like done it immediately, like right away, like instead of carrying it on. Because regardless of still being legally like married and everything, like I never did anything. He was like the only person I have ever been with, the only relationship I ever had. And um basically what had happened was in 2019, we were starting the process of bringing me from US to Canada under the spousal sponsorship with Canada. And we were supposed to move into like this home that his grandmother owned, his maternal grandmother owned. And his mom, what we thought was on our side and was encouraging and everything, ended up sabotaging us, like, and making up crazy ass lies. And whenever I'd ask my ex about it, and I'm like, well, did you tell your grandmother this and everything? Because like he knew his mother was lying about stuff. And he said no. And I remember even thinking then, like, it was like, okay, so he doesn't have my back. Like it's already going off in my head, these little red flags. Like, why is he allowing his mother to like say this stuff and do these things? And um just like turned out to be quite sabotaging and influence behavior. Because I remember at one point I even said, like, your family is toxic, so you got to like choose. And he was even saying, well, Amanda, like, don't put me in the situation of having to choose. But it's like, if you know a family is toxic, why the fuck are you having communication with them? And if you're allowing them to say the shit and treat your spouse this way, like it's just crazy. So, and because I was so deep in love, I put up with a lot of stuff. And then it was like literally we had an argument, like one of the smallest little arguments about this potential house, like, and his response was to strangle me. And I remember being in so much shock what happened, but also remembering I had like seconds to react. And I don't know if you've seen enough with Jennifer Lopez and Billy Campbell from like the early 2000s. It's a really, really great movie, but obviously it's about domestic violence. And there's this one part in there where she was like training to like, when like the hands are around the neck, to start chopping like the hand, like the arms and everything. And so that's what I did. And then he got off me because we were on the couch and he was on top of me and he was like strangling me. And um like I remember just lately even hitting him back, going like, what the hell are you doing? Like you think that's okay to like do that? And it's like when he pinned me down again. And then it just escalated from there. Like he would just, very much start abusing me in every single way, verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially. He ended up like all this, like the whole thing, because I was still in school. I was getting like my bachelor's and my master's and working part-time at like the hospital and stuff. And his only job was to save his money because he still lived with his parents at the time. He didn't even have to pay rent. The only thing he needed to do was like pay for his phone bill and his gas for his car. And I think the insurance for the car too. But other than that, he was still making a good amount of money. Like, and I remember asking, like, what's in the bank account? What's in our bank account? And I remember seeing like 10,000, and I'm like, wait a second. So you've been working for over 3 years, and where's your money going? And I remember like having a really firm conversation with him, like, because then it was realizing too, like, oh my God, like, this is absolutely financial abuse because he can't be trusted with money. Like, this is ridiculous. What is he spending his money on? And when he should be saving for a house, like our future. And, looking back, like all these little things, and I was very naive, and I was, like I said, I was very much in love. He was my only partner, the only person I'd been with. And, you know, sometimes when you love someone so much, you overlook things that you shouldn't, and even overlooking your own safety. And he started getting, like I said, like on and off with the bouts. His favorite thing that he would do was either strangle me or beat me. And but it was never, when he beat me, was never like visible. Like obviously you can see sometimes, like you would able to see like sometimes the redness on my neck after he would strangle me. But a lot of the beatings would usually be on my arms or my legs and stuff. And then he didn't start cheating on me until summer of 2020. And one of the people, he ended up leaving me for one of like the girls he was cheating on me with, and he's actually still with her to this day. Um, and it's just so crazy to think like you could pour your love in all this stuff, like, so while COVID was happening and I was working at the hospital and, running around New York State, going to different places, because this is also time where, if you remember, like a lot of things were not available. Um, like workout equipment and stuff. So I was like going around like different parts of New York State, like hours, um, just to grab him things and then give it to him, like when we see each other on the weekends and stuff. It's it's like just so crazy looking back on it, like everything I did and everything I put up with. Um, but I'm making like this video because people need to be aware that twin flame relationships are not all, wonderful. Um, and you can go through a lot of things. Just had to take care of something real quick. And like you could just go through a lot of things. And even I remember when this stuff was going on, especially in like 2021 and 2022, when a lot of my gifts and everything started coming online as well. I find out about, the twin flame healers, Jill and Remy, and you know all the work that they've been doing for such a long time. And they they are currently in separation, even though they are legally married. And I remember she got sick a few years back, and there hasn't been really any update about that. And just that, they're no longer, I guess, together. But anyways, they had this really great um like newsletter that they would send out. And I remember, yeah, it was a couple years back when, when everything started happening and everything too. Like I remember they purposely put out this one, no, it was like a couple newsletters that they combined into a couple it was basically the topic of, when your twin flame is not living a higher vibration, right? So when there's like, infidelity, addictions, um, violence, like all this stuff. And they even caution, especially with their medical, like with their background and degrees and everything, they even caution like going back into a relationship with them until like they're truly, truly healed. Um, but it was good that other people were able to acknowledge it. Like, yes, like you can be a twin flame with somebody. That doesn't actually mean like they're a false twin flame. It just means they're toxic right now because they're living on a lower vibration. They're engaging in activities that are dangerous to not only themselves, but to you and to your connection. And just sometimes, you know, like what we think will happen when our soul's journey, especially as an individual, and especially those of us who are twin flames, sometimes your journey is not meant to be together, and it's only meant to be with each other for a short time, a period, a season, maybe a few years like mine, and then you go separate ways. But I do believe that the people who are supposed to be, especially the ones, the journey that are supposed to have love and have a family and have a partner, an actual romantic partner to build a life with and build a family with and, build harmony and peace with. And that's when the soulmate will come in. And, you know, uh, I've only known, one person, like my mentor, my teacher, who's actually with her twin flame. My soul sisters and I, we're not with our twin flames. Um, and it's one of those things that, just sometimes that what you're supposed to be in this, like you're, like what the mission for this lifetime doesn't plan out with the person you were assigned to do it with. But then the mission gets reassigned to someone who's more um qualified, I guess you can say, to fulfill those needs and the missions and to stand beside you and do this. So that's like again why I say when a soulmate comes in. Um and soulmate relationships are generally easier than a twin flame relationship anyways. I can honestly say all these years later, I don't feel him. I am still healing from the betrayal of everything because he put me at risk, like especially body wise with the infidelity he was doing. And I mean, that's just like, especially to like put your risk, like, to risk my life in that way. He could have like gotten me seriously like sick. And um I'm just so grateful that God watches over me and the angels, spirit, universe, and divine and higher realms because they really, really protected me, not only from him and really his toxic penis, but his toxic self. Because, you know, from what I gather, he's just engaging like, in things that I definitely had no interest in, have no interest in, and what my cards were telling me, even a few years ago. And it's one of those things that, love can't cure anybody. I love is a very strong power, and like it's like one of the biggest and strongest powers of all. But love can't save everyone. Love can't save every relationship. And sometimes, that's why I feel like when I go into my numerology as well, like, and I was in a personal year of 9 in 2020. So when I lost the job at the hospital due to a huge company downsize with COVID, and, then my ex, wanted to divorce. And the way he even said it was like super, super mean and cruel. Like he said I was like too old for him and that he wasted his youth with me and I looked prettier when I was younger. And he didn't, doesn't want kids, like just all these little attacks and everything. And um, it's one of those things that, you know, when you look at things in hindsight, things even the wedding day, right? There was little signs about stuff there. I just felt like the universe was giving little warning stuff, like the interruptions from his family, the way he dropped the ring at the altar, like that was the big one. That was a big one, and just a few other things throughout the ceremony and the actual reception part. Just but then when you get into like you get so grateful, like you're married, like you're both like, because I remember he even said, well, yeah, okay, yeah, this happened, but at least the most important things happened, like we're married and, all this other stuff. And, It's just, when I even say the numerology things, like when my maiden name and his chart, like, oh my God, great. All these natural matches, like absolutely soulmate connection. There's a soul connection there meant to be. And then you get married. I just looked at it like, what if I changed my name? Even better. Oh my God, fantastic. Like all these natural matches. And only, I think there was one challenge and one compatibility, and everything else was natural match. And so, yes, like everything can look fabulous on paper, but that doesn't mean you're supposed to be together, because if someone's operating in a lower vibration, there is nothing you can do. And it took me a really long fucking time to realize there's nothing I can do to change him. There's just like there's nothing. And that's on him. And if he fulfills his mission with somebody else, like, that's what God and the universe, divine, has in store for him as plans. But then you have to like trust in the plan that God and the universe and divine have for you, even if it's not the person you thought you were supposed to be with. I definitely feel that, you can like it is a process of healing of the betrayal. It takes about 7 years for people to heal from like the betrayal and to really start, trusting, being open again. And it's, and then it takes at least 7 to 9 tries for people to leave domestic violence situations and everything. There was a lot more darker things he even said too, like included like threatening to take my life, besides just physically, I guess, as you can say, acting on it, especially with strangulation, because that's how if a man is going to kill you, they're going to strangle you. And all these different things I overlooked. And I was very naive. Now I know better. And I also know too that the universe, God, and the divine did not want me with somebody who was cruel like that, and especially had possibly the intention to kill me at some point. I don't know, but obviously everything was protection, and things obviously happened to fall apart in that 9 personal year of mine. And, the endings that happen, I always say this, even when we're in a world year of 9, the endings that happen in a 9 year are for our highest good. And honestly, with everything happened, then, I got led to my mentor, I got led to my beautiful three soul sisters. I got all these beautiful gifts that became awakened, all these modalities that I got guided to, and then I was able to heal and like learn things for myself. And then the process of healing and learning everything, being certified, and with all these certifications, I was able to also then offer that as a practitioner myself and help heal people and give guidance and healing to them. Um, and it's just you can use what was happened to you and use it to help others. Like, a lot of people that have suffered from, you know I don't want to like say the word victim, because I'm not a victim. I just overcame things, and I've never saw myself as a victim, but it's one of those things where you take what happened against you and you use it for the greater good, and to help others and hopefully inspire others, and just be a good person, help heal other people's like I have healed myself. So with that said, this video has been very, very vulnerable for me, but I feel like this has been a long time coming, because I remember one of my soul sisters even saying years ago, like over 3 years ago, like you should probably make a video to help inspire other people, especially other women, because I work generally with women anyways. And, I just want people to know out there, like you're not alone. And just, because someone's like you're in an actual twin flame relationship, that may not be going great, that doesn't mean they're a trust from flame. It just means that you're probably not supposed to be with them in this lifetime. And you just have to have the courage and strength to let go, because I didn't, not at the time. Now I do. Now I have more peace, because I realized, when you come to terms in the healings of stuff, your mission is going to still be the same. It's just going to be carried out with someone else, and will come to you in divine timing when you're supposed to, and then everything falls into place and unfolds when it's supposed to. Just always trust in God and divine in the universe and their plans. So with that said, I mean, I hope this video has been inspiring for others, that Just because bad things happen to you doesn't mean it needs to change you. I'm not going to ever change who I am. I've had a lot worse things happen to me. I have a lot more like people have betrayed me in my life, and I've never let them change. I've never let anything change me. I try to just be a good person with a good heart and do good things for others because that's what the world needs. That's who my heart is. That's what my soul is about. Pure and loving and just doing the right thing, doing good things for others. So no matter what you go through, please don't let anything change you. I know things can be so hurtful and so cruel and so heartbreaking. Just please, no matter what, how much pain you're in, don't do anything like dangerous, high risk, or make a permanent decision for, what you're feeling right now or going through. Please know that you have the strength and the capacity in you to overcome anything. If you are interested in working with a spiritual coach or energy healer, I am certified in that way, and I'm able to help you on this journey. If you resonate and want to connect, you can reach out to me, visit my website at phoenixhealing.com, and look at the modalities and services that I offer. And just know as well that everything I've ever, I offer for anyone is what I've also done myself. Because I wouldn't offer anything that I never, that I didn't find that was helpful for me. Um, but with that said, I hope this video has been inspiring, encouraging to others. Don't let anything change you. You can overcome the bad stuff. And just because, like, okay, your idea of romance and things that were supposed to happen with somebody else, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just going to be with somebody else, and that's okay. And you just got to trust in God, divine universe, and the plan that they have for you, and let things unfold in divine timing. But always know that you're stronger and braver than you think, and that you absolutely can overcome adversity and challenges. And one of the biggest things too is to protect yourself, protect your life, because there is only one of you, and you're here on this earth. It doesn't matter if you're a light worker or a twin flame. You are a soul. You're still here on this life, like in this lifetime on this planet right now. Please protect yourself. There's only one of you, and you owe everything to keep yourself safe from harm, from any type of danger, and from anyone who seeks to hurt you or harm you in any way. It doesn't matter what your title or label is to them. Please protect yourself, because you are what matters. Your life is what matters. And just don't let anyone take your soul away, your capacity to love, and especially don't let anyone take your life away. Just please get out of any situation that you feel that is tearing you apart, tearing your heart apart, tearing your soul apart, and just physically tearing your body apart. Please get out. Please be safe, and know that you have love surrounding you always. With that said, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. If this video has been helpful, definitely, you know, that's the best thing I can do with this video, being vulnerable like that. Like, just know that you're not alone. I know that you can overcome anything thrown your way, especially if someone seeks to harm you. Keep yourself safe. I know that you're surrounded with love. Take care, everyone. I will see you guys soon.